Hi guys, my name is Ava, and today I will be talking about the Ignutsu people of Brazil and their way of life, as well as the hardships they've gone through and how their life can relate to the Indigenous peoples of Canada's way of life. Starting off with some background information about the Ignutsu people. They are located in Rondônia, Brazil, which represents 3% of Brazil's territory. Which you can see in this picture. The white area is Brazil, and the red is Rondônia. Rondônia is located near a river and a rainforest, although the river is mainly only used for drinking water and catching fish. The land that they are based on is also shared with the Kano tribe. And just a fun fact about the tribe name Akunstu, it was given to this tribe by the Kano tribe, which means other Indians. Their style of living is primarily hunter-gatherers, although the women only hunted when the men were not around, and when they did hunt, they often wasted and lost bows. They speak Tupian language, which is only spoken by members of the tribe and often not understood by anyone else. When it comes to arts, they often kept themselves busy with making items out of pottery, such as bracelets, anklets, and garters. They also used river shells to create necklaces, along with the use of bird feathers and certain teeth from animals and mammals. All of the supplies they used depended on what they could find and gather for that day. For music, they used the sound of bamboo, which they would use to partake in tribe gatherings. As you can see in the pictures, there are many different ways the bamboo was used to create music. All these pictures are a more modern day version of what they would create. So they could either simply hit the bamboo stick on the ground or against a tree. Some may have punctured holes throughout the stick and used it as a flute-like instrument. Or you could tie up all different lengths of them together, which would create something similar to a harmonica. This can be related to how the Indigenous people of Canada and how they hand make a lot of their traditional belongings, such as the intricate beadwork that they do, their headpieces, as well as all the things that they can make out of animal skin and fur, such as moccasins and mittens. It is a part of the Ignutsu culture that they dye their hair red, like the color of blood, as their ancestors have done this for a long time. You can see the color of hair that they would often have in the pictures on the slide. Also on the slide, you can see the men wearing headpieces that resemble the type of items they would create. The tribe wore an immense amount of jewelry and handmade goods as a part of their clothing because it had such a low supply on any other type of clothing. They often only wore a piece of cloth around their bottom half, as the only type of cover-up they would use. This means that they were topless most of the time unless found other type of cloths or cover-up. Due to the temperature of Rondônia primarily staying around 21 degrees Celsius and above all year round, there would be usually little to no issue regarding the ability they had to stay warm. And at night, if it did get cold and they were low on their clothing, they would often just build a fire and stay put in their shelter. For population, in the 1980s, the Akunstu tribe unfortunately were victims of a massacre that was led by white cattle ranchers that had taken place in the forests of Rondônia, which had left them with very few survivors. Throughout the years, the tribe was losing members due to natural causes such as old age and poor living habits. So in the year 2014, there were only 8 members, and when it came to the year of 2016, the number of members decreased to 5. Some people may see the red hair that the Ignutsu people have as a symbol of remembrance of the massacre. So in some ways, this can relate to the Indigenous people of Canada and the certain hardships that they had to go through. They had to endure residential schools, which had left many Indigenous people feeling broken and beaten down. It might not have been exactly similar to what the Akunstu people had to go through with their genocide, but nonetheless, both of the two different types of indigenous cultures were victims of extremely damaging experiences that will affect them for the rest of their life. So why they were hunted. The main reason that the Akunstu tribe was hunted was because other Indians, as well as cattle ranchers, wanted to steal their land. Due to the Akunstu tribe being so small, they often were referred to as an isolated tribe. Because the tribe was so small, the attackers thought it would be easy to accomplish this genocide and that they would get away with it. They often had the mindset that the land that they were using could have been put to much better use rather than just being a home for very few people. And since it was near a rainforest and a river, it was a very appealing attraction and place of living for many people. Many of the tribe members who survived say that they still have scars left on their bodies from the massacre even years later. So when it comes to the future of this tribe, while I was doing my research for this project, I came across this information shown in the picture about how, according to Survival International, the tribe is predicted to be extinct by the year of 2020. It says in this picture, fear has become an element of daily life for the Akunstu, according to the Indigenous People of Brazil organization. This shows how similar this is to the marks left on the Canadian Indigenous people from the residential school. And it is often talked about how many of the people who attended those schools are struggling with PTSD and depression from the experiences that they went through. Due to there being such a limited number of members of the Akunstu tribe, it is unclear as to when or if the tribe will be eliminated from the earth. Some investigators say that if the tribe doesn't marry the neighboring tribes, their traditions will surely die out.